Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of We Love Pets. If you guys want to join the conversation, feel free to reach out to us on social media using @PetWorldInsider or myself @ProducerDerek. Today we have some amazing guests you guys might recognize right here. Ken Tudor, he's been on the show with us before. But right here to my other side, I've got Heidi Nevala. She is one of the reasons you guys get PetX Talks because her company, Nature of Pets, is one of the title sponsors. And she does a lot of work with us, and we really appreciate you coming into the studio, doing some more stuff with us in studio. But now we got you on this show, and this is where we get to have fun. This is where we get to know who Heidi is and why you love pets. And the first thing we want to kind of go into is your pet history. Like, what was your first pet?
A collection of farm animals. I grew up on a farm in northern Wisconsin. And literally cows, horses, chickens, cats, dogs, bunnies. I love them all. So I actually befriended a baby calf. I mean, just the point being is that they all had personalities, and I had relationships with most of them. I made some mistakes because I tried to rescue baby robins and just learned a lot about natural habitat and how the caretaking evolves with their what I did wrong and right as a young person. And it's always been an interest of mine to be around animals and interact no matter the time.
Where was that shift in your life where it went from owning the pets to actually working in the pet world and doing all that you guys do?
Well, working in the pet world, family has a business in the pet space. So it's grooming, boarding, daycare, in a retail environment. So I've been involved in that for a while. I guess I really got more cemented when I did my first rescue of Bengal neonates, and I've done several since.
What's a Bengal neonate?
Just like a 2-week-old kitten.
Okay.
Sorry. I mean, there's a different category for neonates versus kittens, I guess. A lot of shelters and rescues can't take them, and I really didn't know what I was getting into. And I was already, I've been in the human health, nutritional or wellness space for 20 years. But once that relationship evolved and I started doing those rescues, and they had a ton of health issues. The vet that I work with, a holistic vet, and she said they probably were 4 or 5 days without food. Their mom was killed in an accident, and they just got unceremoniously dumped off, and they weren't being attended to where they were at. So I took it over, and one of them, I'm not kidding, one of them would have seizures and basically go into a coma, and one had just incredible, we thought their allergies, it turned out to be parasitic infestations, but anyway, there were just a lot of health problems, and I was pulling at the heartstrings, and I fell in love with them, just like, probably more than any other animal I've ever had, because we had tons of animals through our life. I always had a different space for them. Like, they weren't just animals. Like, I was always getting in trouble trying to bring them into the house, or maybe humanize them before it was popular, and really they're part of my history. Like, some of the highs and lows always included animals.
So the reason I've got both of you guys on here is because we've been working on a project, and I think we mentioned it in the last We Love Pets, Natural Pets TV. You guys both come from a very holistic style of pet care now, and you come from the vet side. You come from the rainforest with herbs and supplements and things that are a very natural kind of thing. And what I think is great is there's that gap of the bridge being, there's the bridge being gap, let's say that again. But so Ken, how do you go about supplementing what Heidi's doing into the pet world into what you do in your vet world?
No, that's a good question, because I did not naturally go into being a holistic vet. I have been a more traditional vet most of my career. But about 4 years ago, as you and Rob well know, I started a homemade dog food business where I supplied people with recipes and the nutrients they needed to make them balanced. Well, it was a natural evolution from wanting to provide the best possible nutrition for an animal to then say, okay, in practice, why don't I step up to the plate as well and stop practicing 15-minute office calls to deal with illness and start taking an hour conference with a client and build wellness, so that not only do we build on the diet, but we build on, okay, how can we approach this problem differently and less, with fewer side effects? And so for me, coming, if you will, be new to it, Heidi knows about these herbs and knows about their use and whatnot for many more decades than I do, is now for me to take that knowledge and adapt it to what I do on a daily basis with regards to my animals. And and what I want my clients to do is move in a direction of maintenance and management of wellness rather than disease to disease. And that's where I think that if I can just extract all that knowledge and start incorporating these products into my practice, that I can even enrich the lives of these animals better.
Well, Ken hit a great point there. You have been doing this for a long time, but I think the backstory that I know is you were actually in the Amazon. You were
Right,
in
yeah.
the rainforest. You were finding those things. How did you get to where being out there and then bringing it to the pet world? How did that go?
Well, my first step into herbal wellness was not in the rainforest. It was my first trip to Lima. I got cholera, and it doesn't happen very often. I was alone. I almost died from it. Did try some synthetics, and they helped, but a friend there introduced me to somebody who brought me to curandero, which is a healer, and put those herbs into my body, and I really had no information about them, but it really, within a day or two, I was really back up.
Yeah.
It was dramatic because I literally was just about dead. And then from there, I was just fascinated, and then I met so many more people. You know, I didn't necessarily, I was just new to the country, but I didn't know that they had an established medical system based on supplements, and it was integrative because they also use synthetic medications and other interventions. So I like the balance. I like that they were fair in either way, but I also like the depth of the natural remedies they used and the history, and I was just blown away. So I became a student. There was an Institute of Natural Medicine. The person who ran at the time is now deceased, but he became a mentor of mine, and I love adventure. So I was like, let's go to the rainforest. First time I was there, what you learn, it doesn't matter where you come from. Everywhere you go, there are so many different strains of bacteria or viruses, whatever it is. My first trip into the Amazon, malaria. It was not the most severe form, but I got really involved in herbal medicine because I was really treated naturally, and I'm not going into that story, but boy, I loved it. I don't remember all of it, but I loved it. Anyway, I was, on a plane and out not too many hours later, thankfully, because there's a whole other story behind that, why I had to get out of the Amazon. But yeah, I was hooked. It was just that responsiveness, and also sometimes our personal experiences and health issues where I had something happen that could not be explained in conventional or Western medicine, but after some research, it wasn't that easy. But I found a way to exist. I should be dead so many times. Not crazy,
well, we're glad
but
you're not
but,
in helping the pet world because you've done a lot for the pets.
Let's just say it had a big impact on my decision making, and I was already underway, but it really firmly fixed it and then expanded it. I've got a lifetime of learning. I need more than one lifetime.
So Ken, where was your trip in the Amazon? And,
Let's go.
I can't compare. I got lost in the 60s. It was herbs.
I'm sure those stories are awesome. I want to hear those stories.
If you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
I was born in the 60s.
Well, I don't know anything about them, so I can't relate to that. Well, Heidi, so we've talked about kind of your background and why you guys do Nature of Pets, what you do, but we don't really know what kind of pets you have now. So let's talk about a little bit about your pets and what they are in your world right now.
Okay, I have two. Well, out of one of the last rescues I did, I kept two. They're Bengal cats, and they're a good part of the epicenter. Like Genevieve inspires some of my blogs, and a lot of the products, well, not a lot, but many of the products were built around their health needs, and really just kind of an awakening of there's so many medicinal tools that come out of the Amazon, the Andes, the Humboldt Current. I mean, there's many different environments and ecosystems there, but in assessing it and seeing the need beyond them, how exciting it is, and there are some things that are really well utilized in even traditional veterinary practices, and those herbs, the focus really went on like Chancapedra. We talked a little bit about that before, and to see they're welcoming it because they can see, especially in like UTIs or stone or those kind of processes that are well tolerated by cats or dogs. to see that build out and the acceptance is exciting, because at the same time we're going to them for expertise. We need it. We can't always use herbs, or we use herbs adjunctively with other treatments, including synthetics. So I'm excited because I have a lot to learn too.
How do you implement all the stuff that she's doing into your practice?
Very slowly. No, I say that not in jest, but it's because I have to serve two masters, the traditional medication or traditional medicine, and that's how I'm judged with regards to the way I practice medicine.
Right.
And then I have the holistic approach, the more natural approach, which I see the logic, in the use, but then I have to adapt those and be reasonable in my adaptation. And if God forbid something does happen, I have to be able to justify why I use that, as opposed to a more traditional intervention. So I walk a fine tightrope, and as Heidi and I bantered on set a minute ago, I need controlled double-blind studies that help me then justify my choices. The other thing about what I do is Heidi is... her world is herbs, but for what I do, I have a bigger armamentarium, if you will, because I use cold laser, I use acupuncture, I use acupressure, I use massage, I use essential oils, I use traditional Chinese medicines, which are like herbs, but somewhat different, as I'm sure you will attest to. So, and the whole way of looking at a patient through traditional Chinese medicine is a completely different paradigm than traditional medication. So for me, when I say slowly, I don't mean not wanting to. I mean I have to be judicious in my selection, and that's why I was so glad that Heidi and I have met and are now working together on some projects.
Yeah, it's very important that there's the natural side of things, and then there's the traditional vet side of things, and to only make the pet world better is by making sure those two meet up, and those two are able to make those connections. And yes, we will have the debate back and forth, and there will be disagreements. There will be things that will not go every which way, the right way or the wrong way, but it's that conversation starter, and that's what we like to do. We didn't bring you guys together. You guys found each other out there in the pet world and found that same kind of passion for pets, and now you guys work with us, and hey, it's best of both worlds.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, and the beauty about science, and this is why I love science, is tomorrow I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah.
No,
that's a great way to look at it.
The beauty is, and Heidi mentioned it, she wants to continue learning, and we should die, learning, because what we think we know today will be wrong tomorrow, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because now we can embrace something new. We can try something new. So I love science in that it's got built-in failure, and most people think I'm crazy. When I was teaching tech students, I used to say, you're going to be only as good as the number of times you fail. So get out there and fail.
Well, that's kind of the thing I like to think that myself. I'm okay with failing at stuff. I'm okay with I screwed up, or maybe I opened up a computer and I'm like, well, I kind of broke it. I think I need to buy a new one. But those kind of things are educational.
Absolutely.
And I think that you can take the same approach, because
Absolutely.
there are things you've done out there that you failed at, but because of those fails, we can take that next step and be able to learn and adapt and grow. And I was having a conversation with Greg Tilford. We all know him because we've worked with him on other stuff. And I was telling him that I know the dog before the dog I have now did not get the best treatment, and I know the dog I have now is not going to get as good of a treatment as my next dog, as the next pet. And if I get other pets, whether it be cats, small animals, reptiles, I'm going to go into thinking with those animals a lot differently than if I just bought them. Yeah, we go to pet stores, and you could buy a goldfish and think, oh, cute, I've got a goldfish. But when I started doing research on the goldfish, there's so much more to it. The proper nutrition, the proper pH. And you think a small bowl, no, goldfish can get up to 16, 17 inches.
If they have the space and the right diet, right?
And so there's things I'm always going to try and find that better life for the pet that I have. And so I think what you guys are doing is great. I don't know how to make it even more abundant, that we need to have more of these kind of relationships happening in the pet world, because we are seeing that pushback from some vets out there. We're seeing more and more turn, but there are a lot of vets that go at Heidi and with picket forks and a torch and like, no, that's not the right way.
I only remember the ones who are interested.
Well, and that's one of the problems with our profession is and traditional training to some extent, and the mentality it takes to go through traditional training at vet school is this kind of jaded look at the world. As a matter of fact, I don't even like to hang around vets as a general rule because I don't like that perspective on the world. It's too narrow for me and it's too restricted, and I like to think more broadly, look at the big picture, and then take what I can and use it. And so you'll never see me go to a vet convention and hang around veterinarians. I'm always looking at vendors and other people.
You're always hanging out with us.
That I can learn from, that will help me help my patient, because I'm not sure this guy's going to help me, and but that doesn't mean that it's not growing. I think the demographic changes in veterinary medicine, and what I mean by that is the preponderance of females coming into the profession is opening up the perspective of the profession rather than the gray old guy like me. And so we are seeing more people drawn. I more and more young veterinarians are seeking me out to help them with homemade medical diets, and so I am seeing a switch. I'm seeing a tremendous interest. I had one intern that was at a specialty practice say, God, I'm so interested and I love what you're doing. Can I learn more? And so it's happening. It's happening. And relationships like I and Heidi are forming and continuing to broaden and reach out. I think it's going to be a slow road, and we're not going to win over everybody. But it doesn't matter, because even the old gray-haired guys, they really are interested in the pet. They really are.
Well, I mean, it's that whole cliche, like we stand on the giants shoulders of giants, because the people before us, I mean, we're making those steps to better our pets' lives, and we've made huge improvements. But now there's people like you guys coming into the pet world and that have been around but have made those changes and learned from those past people. And now we're seeing longer lives in dogs. We're seeing in cats. We're seeing better health. We're seeing a lot of improvements. And I mean, it's kudos to, people like you. I mean, that's the reason why I surround myself with you guys. I don't know anything. I'm not a pet professional. I run cameras. They put me over here because they got no one else to do.
And I certainly couldn't.
But when we get you guys in here for a lot of the stuff we do, it's great because I know I'm the average pet parent. I'm the person who's taking care of a dog or taking care of a cat and trying to do better, don't know how. And there's those people like you guys out there that are saying, hey, here's a better step. Here's a natural step. Here's a different way of looking at it. And you question a lot of the stuff that's out there to be better for us. And so I think that's great that you guys go through that motions with us. So appreciate you guys being here, but that's not the end of the show. We've got a couple things we still do before we wrap it up. We have our dog bowl questions. Heidi, you get to pick our dog bowl, but if you guys want to submit questions to our dog bowl, please feel free to reach out to us with the hashtag #WeLovePets on social media, on all the platforms at Pet World Insider, or you can reach out to me at producer Derek. Heidi, go ahead.
And please do, because Derek's getting tired writing them.
Okay. If you could only have one type of pet the rest of your life, what would it be?
Now, I know for all you guys is going to be a hard question because you've had more than one pet, but it was only one pet. One breed, not one breed, but one type of style, one cat, one dog, one
I know you're hoping I'll answer just one, right? I would, as you've learned, I'm mostly obedient. I love all animals. It would be in the cat realm, but ideally, I wish I could rescue one pet or one animal that's endangered and put them in a sanctuary. That would be my ideal. But otherwise, I'd probably want a lion, a really friendly lion.
They're not friendly. They're wild animals.
Okay. Then a savannah cat.
Okay,
how's that? Is that a good compromise?
I can. I mean,
I want a whole. Anyway, just one. It'll be in the cat world. I love dogs. I have dogs, but yeah, it would be savannah.
Can I start with a joke?
Yeah, you start with whatever you want.
Being the elder statesman here, I have to share this with you. There's 3 clerics talking about when life begins. And the Catholic priest says life begins at conception. There's no question about that. And the Protestant minister says, well, life actually begins at birth. That's when we breathe air and we really become vibrant, and the Jewish rabbi leans back and laughs and says, "No, life begins when the dog dies and the kids move out."
Oh, oh, oh my goodness.
So,
Oh my goodness.
so having said that, and being so busy, I don't look to pack my lives with animals right now.
But you bet you have them. Like you keep collecting them.
I
right?
have a rescue pit bull Dalmatian cross,
Oh,
who is
wow.
the most twisted sister I've ever owned, and it went so far as to jump out my kitchen window through the glass while on my last leg of the trip home from a very nice vacation. So it's not going to be a dog. What I may end up doing, Derek, is because of my interest in the last PetX talk I did was on insect protein.
Right,
It'll probably be a
fabulous.
colony of mealworms.
That was fabulous. Well, we need more,
yeah.
right? You said the problem was going to be shortage of supplies. So
Yeah. So.
should start now.
A colony.
Alright,
Of
Funny.
that's a fair answer. I'll give you that. That's a fair answer.
It can be a pet.
Yeah, I will have to say it's a dog for me, and that's just my kind of lifestyle that I live. And it would have to be a bigger dog. I'm not a fan of the smaller breeds, but I mean, all dogs are great. I don't care about what breed. I just want a bigger dog, and I think that would be. It's that therapeutic side of it. It's that
Absolutely.
athletic side of it, that you're going to get some exercise out of the dog also if you walk it or run with it. And I mean, if you don't, then you're not getting any. But I think that would be my choice. So. Okay, good answers. I won't harp on you guys too much for them, but okay. Last thing we love doing here is making sure if you have that one tip, that one advice. Ken's given one. We'll give him another one. He can get another one today also because he's on again. But Heidi, what is that one little tip of advice for pet parents out there that you wish everyone would know?
Okay, besides paying more attention to nutrition, right? Well, if you've got questions, ask them. Look for information. What I love about the pet industry is it's so innovative. It's hard to keep up with. I mean, and people have the right motivations, and they're reflective of pet parents. So I will keep pushing the nutrition conversation because that's part of what we do. and also, well, I'll leave it there. I could go on and on, but just keep searching, keep looking. I mean, that it's what drives us. We want to respond to it. At the crux of it is keeping animals safe, well, living longer, benefiting our lives. So I just keep on with the messaging.
Awesome. Ken, I'll give you another one because we got one from you, but I know you've got more advice.
I'm not sure which one you're
You
referring
get-
to,
Last time you were on the show.
but I will give one. and this is a tidbit you can all take home. Most people with 6-pound Chihuahuas have a food bowl that's about this size. The Chihuahua does not eat anything near that close, and the water bowl will probably be about this big,
Right.
and the animal needs much more water than it needs food. So one of the ways in which we can get animals fit is to buy the smallest food bowl that will still accommodate your dog. And I use the rule of thumb that the food bowl diameter shouldn't be more than 1/2 the cross section of your dog's, 1.5 times the cross section of your dog, because otherwise you're going to have a tendency to fill it up.
Yeah, great
Very
tip.
good.
Great tip.
Keep hydrated.
So thank you guys so much. I want to make sure everyone gets information on where they can find more information on both you guys. So Heidi, a website, social media, anything you want to plug out there for people
Well,
to find you.
our website, Natura Pets, it's Pets with a Z, has everything, all information, more than you maybe want. And then all of our social media sites are connected to that as well.
Awesome.
And we can be found at thewelldog.com and our Facebook, thewelldogplace.com, or Well Dog Place.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much again for joining us. You guys always have the opportunity to join the conversation with us. Submit those questions. Tell us what guests you guys want. There's comment section down below. You guys can fill all that out. But also on social media, use the hashtag #WeLovePets, at Producer Derek, or the overall whole thing we do here at Pet World Insider. Guys, thanks again for joining us. Thanks for being on the
Thank
show
you.
with us.
Thank
And
you so much.
you guys, stay tuned for the next one. Bye.